The ability to focus is one of the most valuable skills you can cultivate. And I actually realized recently that I was bad at focusing. I was spending time with my son. He's 8 months old. And I realized that after half an hour of playing with him, my attention would start to wander. And I found myself being bored or thinking, oh, I want to pick up my phone. And I have to force myself to focus on being present with my son. And I was thinking to myself, where else in my life am I losing focus? Because I'm trying to multitask, because they're trying to do all these other things. And in my interview with Cal Newport, he talks about deep work. The ability to focus is such a rare and valuable skill because we're so distracted in this modern era. And I had a friend, Laden Yurchak. He's the host of the Travel Wisdom podcast and another podcast on brain implants. And he told me he wrote his entire 75-page master's thesis in a single day because he was able to dedicate the entire day and night to focus and just write that piece. On the other hand, it took me months, 3 or 4 months to write the same length. And I'm working on a book now, Superconductors. And when I dedicate an entire day to writing, I can write a full chapter in a day. And when I don't, when I try just to do a couple hours here and there, it takes way longer. So how many times in your day do you find yourself bored and you go to your phone or you open a magazine or you get on to check Facebook or the latest sports scores or whatever it is, whatever your distraction point is, because you're feeling bored or you're feeling like you want a quick fix to be entertained? This is the enemy of focus. And focus allows you to do your best work, your deep thinking, your times when you create new material, new art, new business, new ideas for the world. That's what probably, depending on the field that you're in, that's probably where your most valuable work is happening as well. So if you can maximize the time that you're focusing, then you're maximizing the time that you're doing your most valuable work. But it's hard. It takes practice. It takes focus to get better at focusing. But the good news is that it's a skill that you can get better at. Just like a lot of things, we don't naturally have this ability to focus for really long times. And that's what I'm doing. I'm practicing with my son. I'm hanging out with him for longer and longer periods. Sometimes we read a book over and over again, 5 times. In fact, is the longest I've read the Good Night book. And it helps me focus in other areas in my life. It helps me focus when I sit down to write a long article or a chapter for the book. So I challenge you to set aside some time, maybe 3 hours, maybe an entire day, whatever you can do, block off complete distraction, focus zone, distraction-free zone. That's what I mean, not a distraction zone. If you want that, go to a construction site in the downtown area. Just really say, I'm going to feel what it feels like, the uncomfortableness of really focusing on something, and just see what the output of your work is. Because I guarantee you will have some really amazing output. Even if it feels uncomfortable, even if you're bored, even if your mind is wandering, just bring it back. It's almost a type of meditation. The same thing happens when you're doing a breathing meditation. You realize your focus is no longer on your breath and you bring it back. When you're focusing on your work, you can do this in one place, sitting in front of your computer, or you could even go for a walk and you can think about the problem that you're trying to solve and just walk and think. And as soon as your mind wanders, bring your focus back. Your mind is going to wander. So it's all about a practice of how long and how can we keep bringing the focus back to the thing that we really want, the important problem that we're trying to solve. This has been an episode of 5-Minute Friday. This is a new format of the show that we're doing to give you a thought and inspiration heading into your weekend. So if you enjoyed this episode, love for you to share with your friends. Tell them about the show. And feel free to leave us a review on iTunes. And or you can connect with me on Instagram or Twitter and let me know if you tried the topic of this episode, if you tried to focus more and how that was working for you, share with me your process, because we're very similar. I'm experimenting with all of these things and learning right along with you. Thanks so much for listening today. Now you know what time it is. It's time to go out there and be adventurous.